just tell me a little bit who you are and what you do.
My name is Jules Cortez. I'm a casting director, AD, and producer.
And so what functions have you performed for this video?
On this job right here, Tim, who's a long-time friend of mine, asked me to cast it for him. So I got the cast. I did all the casting.
Okay.
And except for himself, obviously.
Sure.
And I'm AD in it today.
Okay, so tell me a little bit.
Assisting the director, pretty much.
Tell me a little bit about how you went about casting something like this. How did you get folks to jump on board to Tim's music
Well,
video?
a lot of these guys I have a relationship with from before.
Okay.
You know, I don't do any like free jobs, so Tim and I, we came up with a rate that was comfortable for him, and yet, something that's, doable for an actor.
Okay. Can
And
you take one step back?
yeah,
Yep. Go ahead.
and I put out what's called a breakdown.
A breakdown? Okay.
Yeah,
And where do you put that?
Yeah, on different different actors like websites.
Okay.
Where you can cast and stuff like that.
Is
And
there a
also by word of mouth. At this point, like I said, you develop relationships.
Is there a particular forum you use to cast actors online or something?
What do you mean?
Well, when you put out the call, like specifically, where do you put it?
It will be stuff like Breakdown Express or like casting networks,
Okay.
New York castings, and if you put a breakdown out through like websites like that, and basically actors submit. You know?
Okay.
And then I also have my Instagram
Okay.
and Facebook. I've also put out blasts through there, and I get submissions from various. Or I get submissions from all various angles,
Okay.
So I basically compile everything, and then from there, in this case, because Tim and I, we know each other very well, he told me exactly what he wanted,
Okay.
so I just pulled from my resources. But with usually you would have a meeting. Ideally, you want to hold auditions and meet these people,
Okay.
in
Sure.
person,
Yeah.
because a picture.
Right.
Is not, as accurate as when you meet somebody face to face.
Of course.
And people sometimes have old pictures, and they always send pictures that make themselves look good or Photoshop, So ideally, the proper way with the casting process is that you would hold auditions and meet these people and see
Okay.
their personality. Because a lot of times on sets, it's personality,
Okay.
So I called my resources. In this case, since it's like family with Tim,
Right.
I called like the people that I had access to, and I got like 3 of them that were available. And then from there, I went to those other resources for the last 3.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So what I'm hearing is that the new way to work these days, like,
Yeah.
so you're using social media a lot
Yes,
to
definitely.
garner connections, keep connections.
Absolutely.
And so, like, somebody might just see, like you said, on your Instagram.
Yeah,
they might see that
Instagram.
you're casting for
Yeah,
a music
exactly.
video or a short film.
Exactly.
You cast for everything.
Pretty much everything: music videos, short films, commercials, infomercials.
Okay.
Promos, or whatever,
Right.
is up.
So if I'm an independent, filmmaker in New York, I want to be growing my Twitter and my Instagram in those ways.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
And how do you?
It's free advertising,
Sure.
It's what it is, and
Yeah.
and you have the power of reaching out to people that you might have forgot about.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And that comes, in all aspects of anything.
Right.
Something breaks, you lose something, you lose your laptop, you need a laptop. Hey, what's up? Who got it? You know what I mean?
Sure.
And people start hitting you up. Oh, this guy, that.
Right.
It solves. It's a new solving problem tool.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of what we're trying to do for the Indie Film NYC is show people how to use stuff like social media to grow their projects, to make those connections, But certainly, if I've got nobody, like if I'm fresh on the scene, I want to start with something like Breakdown Express. Is that right?
If you're looking for casting, yes, you
Yeah.
want, or even as an actor, because those same websites that you can go just like put a breakdown out on,
Right.
actors submit to also.
Okay.
So they have their actors on file, and that's why those actors will get. Which is why you want to go to various ones as a casting director, because not every actor can afford to be on 3 different websites or 4 different
Sure.
websites.
Yeah.
So I go everywhere with the word. You know, it's like, yeah, you spread the word. That's what
Right.
it's about. And then everyone submits. Then from there, there's a filtering process, obviously, because some people don't fit the look or whatever the specifications are.
Sure.
You know, and then so because like I'll get 5,000 submissions.
Wow.
You know, the director, Sean or Tim don't have time to go through 5,000. I go
Right.
through the 5,000,
So
and
is
I
there?
narrow it down to maybe 100.
Hmm.
You know, and then they go through 100 and narrow it down to 6.
Right. So
You
is
know.
there a particular set of challenges that comes with casting a music video as opposed to maybe a short film, or is it
Yeah, definitely, because music videos are mostly about a look, which is a lot easier to cast through pictures.
okay?
But a film, you got lines and dialogue. You want to
Mhm.
see acting.
And is that something where you can submit like sides on the breakdown and have somebody submit like a video audition? Do you do that, or have you
Yeah,
worked with?
absolutely. You could do that. You could do that also, but it's not. It's not the same as
No.
because it's about chemistry too. You know, there's people. If you're casting a film,
Hmm.
there's dialogue usually between two people, so you want to see that scene, and you'll try different actors with different,
Right.
and see where that chemistry's at, and you say, oh, I like this guy with that guy. That guy, let's get that guy from that third audition, and this guy from the 10th audition. Let's get them together and see what that looks like.
Great. Great.
You know.
And are you one of those people that are you advising the director on some of that chemistry, or how do you
It
fit in with
depends.
that
That all
process?
depends because it depends on the director. A new director, obviously, I'll say, I'll teach him a lot more because as an AD, I know scheduling,
Sure.
so I know a lot of, my knowledge is deep in production.
Mhm.
So, um, a new director, I'm constantly teaching them something, and they're creative,
Sure.
so they're always teaching me. I'm always learning. I'm the assistant director,
Right.
so I'm always learning. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So they're on the creative, so they're not thinking like I'm thinking, which is logistically,
Okay.
and that's why I'm there.
And so, tell
That's
me a
my
little
that's
bit
my
about
role.
so when you step out of the casting director role, especially for this project specifically, when you step out of that role, now you're on set as an AD. What like, give me just a little bit. Like, what do I need to know to help the director?
You need to know what's next, and you need to know that everything that's happening is supposed to be happening. Like everything that's supposed to be happening is happening.
Okay.
And what you're waiting for.
And what happens
You need
if,
to know what you're waiting for.
let's say we're running long on a scene? How do you move things along?
Uh, it depends why we're running late. It all
Okay.
depends, if we're running late from the beginning or if we're waiting for something that broke,
Hmm.
then there's really nothing I can do but wait.
Sure.
But if it's because somebody's not, paying attention,
Hmm.
or they're just not on their job,
Hmm.
then you might have to pull them aside, talk to them,
Hmm.
make a note of them, so maybe they won't get hired again, or whatever the production company depends on how bad the mistake was.
Sure.
But it could end up to either not getting hired again,
Hmm.
or it could just be like, you get spoken to about it and then you never do it again.
Hmm.
Whatever. It's kind of like that goes down to kind of like any job.
Sure.
If you're not doing your work, then
Right.
you're not gonna have that job much longer.
Because to me, as looking from the outside, it sounds like you're the one who's responsible for keeping that engine going,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
So what makes a good first AD? How do you keep
Well,
that engine
I'd,
going?
I'd say that the secret to my success is walking the fine line between being like a cool cat,
Hmm.
and being the guy that's telling everybody what to do.
Hmm.
That's pretty much it.
Sure.
So I always go out of my way to say please and try to ask nicely. But then sometimes if everyone's not really working with me, then I gotta start yelling.
Get a let's go, people.
Yeah, but that rarely happens.
Sure.
Thank God.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think most people come
Yeah.
to a set because
Yeah.
they're excited to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
We all want to be doing the right things.
Yeah.
And I'm a good. What's good about me too is that I can teach really quickly. So it's like, listen, don't do that because
Right.
and then boom, and then I'll keep it moving. But I'll take the time to let you know why you can't do that.
So a good
You know.
AD, they know a little bit about every department. Is that right?
It's supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do know a little bit about every department.
Right. So if I had somebody that was, they're a filmmaker, but maybe they want to get on set, a little more on-set experience.
Mhm.
What advice would you have for them? Where should they start?
They want to come in and PA, intern, come in and work for free a few days and then start getting paid to be here.
Why is
show your worth, and then from there, as a PA, is basically being in film school, because you're learning, you're helping all the departments, and whatever department interests you, that's kind of the department you should want to try to help.
okay?
Because eventually you become that guy that when the AC's busy, he's like, yo, go get me this from the camera. You know what it is,
Right.
And then they go and they get it, and then before you know, he gets pulled into the camera department.
Sure.
Or if you help the grips, you fall into the grip department. If you help the electricians, that's pretty much it.
Great.
That's how that goes.
Well, thanks for talking to us today.
No problem,
and,
man.
You're doing an
Thank
awesome
you.
job.